Greetings and welcome back for another Music Theory Bite. In this video, I'm going to be talking about meters that have uneven beats. Some people call them asymmetric meters. If that sounds like something you'd like to learn more about, then this is the video for you. So we're used to, in most Western tonal music, having a steady beat. That is, the meters are either 4/4, 3/4, 6/8, something like that, where all the beats are the exact same length. In the 20th century, maybe actually even a little bit before the 20th century, some composers started to experiment with music in which the beats were different lengths. And one of the ways they did that was by mixing compound and simple beats. So let's do a little quick review. A simple beat is a beat which is divided into two even pieces, and a compound beat is a beat which is divided into three even pieces. In a typical simple meter, where we can have all simple beats, such as 2/4, 3/4, or 4/4, our meter is, the beat might sound like this, and the division would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. In a typical compound meter, we would take those same beats and we would divide them into three pieces. So if I were to take like a compound duple meter, here's my beat. Now I divide each of those pieces, each of those beats, into three pieces. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So you'll see on your screen right now a list of several of the more common meters that we typically find in Western tonal music. That is, we have simple duple, which tend to be 2/4, simple triple, which tend to be 3/4, and simple quadruple, which tend to be 4/4. Of course, the bottom number could be any other number, but usually we have 4 as the bottom number of those. Remember, the top number of the meter signature in a simple meter tells you the number of beats in the measure. The bottom number tells you which note value gets the beat, 4 equals quarter notes. In a compound meter, the most common ones are compound duple, which is a 6/8, compound triple, 9/8, and compound quadruple, 12/8. You remember, in compound meter signatures, the top number, when you divide it by 3, tells you how many beats are in the measure, and the bottom number tells you not the beat level, but the division of the beat. We do that because our beats have to have a dot on them, and we don't have a way of expressing a dotted note in a meter signature. So when we start to combine these simple and compound beats together, we can create new meters that come up with some interesting combinations. Now, when we label these things, we're always going to label them using something more similar to the way that we label compound meters. That is, the top number is going to tell us how many total divisions we have in each metric unit, in each measure, and the bottom number is going to tell us what the division of the beat is. Sometimes the composer will just leave it at that, and you have to figure out how those beats are divided up. Other times, they will actually spell out how to divide up the beats. So if we take an asymmetric duple meter, duple means we have two beats, and since we're combining simple and compound beats, we need to have one of each in each measure. So if I add up a simple beat which has 2 divisions and a compound beat which has 3 divisions, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and so we're going to end up with a 5/8 would be the typical way that we'd write it, but keep in mind that bottom number could be any note value. So the two ways that we could do this is we could have our simple beat first, followed by our compound beat, which would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Or we could have our compound beat first, followed by our simple beat, which would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. The important thing to remember about all of these asymmetric meters, or meters with uneven beats, is that it's the division that stays constant and not the beat. Oftentimes, if a student gets it wrong, it's going to sound like this: 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. If I take the divisions away, notice my beat is nice and steady and even. That's not what we want here. So we need to make sure that we are hearing the division staying constant. So if I set up the division first, then I'll put the beat on top of that: 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. Notice how my beat is not even. 1 2 1 2 3. Creates sort of an uneasy feeling about the meter, which some composers, quite frankly, just want to have. Let's go ahead and start talking about asymmetric triple meters. Those would be our 7/8 and our 8/8. Now, if we have three beats, we could have two simple beats and one compound beat, and that compound beat could be the first beat, second beat, or third beat. So if we have it as the third beat, it's a 2 plus 2 plus 3, which sounds like this: 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and we could put it in the middle, in which case we're accenting that second beat, which is kind of a lovely feel. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. We could put it at the beginning, in which case we're really emphasizing the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. We could also combine two compound beats with one simple beat, in which case we could put the simple beat in any of the three locations. So if we did a 3 plus 3 plus 2, it would sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. We could put the short beat, the simple beat, in the middle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. We could put the short beat, the simple beat, in the first location. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, if we talk about asymmetric or quadruple meters that use uneven beats, we have even more possibilities. We could have all simple beats and one compound beat, which would be a 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. Add those all together, you get 9/8. And that compound beat could be in any of those locations. So if we do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We could put it in the third beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We could put it at the second beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We could put it at the first beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Likewise, we could do three compound beats and one simple beat, in which case that simple beat could be in any of the 4 beat locations. So we could put it at the end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice how 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 equals 11, so these would be our 11/8 meters. We could put that simple beat in the third beat position. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Could put in the second location, which sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And we could also put it in the first location, which would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And finally, in between the 9/8 and the 11/8, we also have the possibility of doing 10/8, which would combine two compound beats with two simple beats. Now, you'll notice that I have 4 of them listed here. If you really think about it, we actually have 6 possibilities. 2 of them are just duplications of our 5/8, so we're going to throw those out. So the ones that we have available to us, we could do a 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We could do a 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, which is the same as two 5/8 put together. So typically a composer would just write those as 5/8 measures. We could do a 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And we have all these possibilities that we can do. You see them all listed now in front of you on your screen. So the important thing is to keep track of where the beats are. Now, how are you going to know which one is being used? Well, sometimes, like I said, the composer will show it to you in the meter signature. More frequently, they will just give you the meter signature, and you'll have to figure it out from the context. That is, take a look at the note values, take a look at the beaming, because if they're notating things correctly, they will beam everything together by beat. And then you figure it out from there. The next step in this would be, of course, to change the meter as you go along, and that's what composers tended to do after they experimented with just doing regular meters with uneven beats. We'll get to that in another video. Well, that does it for this video. If you found it helpful, please make sure you like it. Please make sure you leave constructive comments below if you have anything important to say. And finally, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for the latest music theory bites as they become available. Until next time.